It's that time of the week. We are back for Tier 2. It's a Wednesday. It's going to be hopefully a good Wednesday for these Tier 2 drivers. We're back around the Silverstone Great Britain Grand Prix for a short qualifying session followed by a 50% race. Joined by the Tier 2 grid. Hopefully it's going to be a banger. I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure. While all the people are loading in. Currently, I am going to take some drinks because I'm very thirsty. But in today's Tier 2 grid, we are joined by Reese, BO7, Raul Dist, Latifi, Zonic, Elite Shots, Dr. Mystic, Dilb, Nova, the Jamaican Bacon, the one and only Andy Moore, the one and only Shredded Meats, Demizzy, and Neo Keo. It's going to be interesting to see what strategies these drivers are going to use today. I believe a lot of soft tyres are going to be used. It is a little bit cloudy, so potential chance of rain could be inbound. Not too sure. If a driver could inform me, that would be very much appreciated. But we're here back for F1 RL, as we do. Neo Keo is going to be the first car out on track. Never mind, he's going to be the second car out on track. Looks to be an Alpine, I believe, of Nova. That's going to be the first out on track here today. It's going to be an exciting one. It really will be an exciting one. A lot of home races for a lot of the drivers, with I believe 60 to 70% of the grid being from England or being from the UK, the United Kingdom. So there will be a lot of drivers here hopefully pushing for some good race results. Coming up past the mid-season mark, not many races left to go. Let's see what stats I can bring out for a potential championship battle. Some potential wins, records, etc, etc. Give me just a moment. I'm not sure if I have been sent out, I'm not sure. But we'll check very shortly. We'll check after qualifying is done. But we do have Latifi, I believe a previous winner around Silverstone. Don't quote me on it, but I know the driver has the pace to be a winner around it. Not burning off any fuel. A lot of these drivers not burning off any fuel, may I just add. A lot of these drivers seem to just be trying their best here. Reese on intermediate tyres. Of course, going for that warm-up lap, trying to get the track warmed up, trying to get it to temperature. Some drivers on the medium tyre compound, so I believe just based off that, it might not rain in qualifying. However, I'm trying to get a check to see if it will rain at some point. I also have forgotten to mention some of these drivers are running special helmets for today's race here. I believe one of them is Nova, also known as Dylan, using one of the special helmets, that blue and pink combo inside of the Alpine, trying to go all matchy. Very nice in the Alpine, that is for sure. I believe Jamaican Bacon also has one. I'm not fully sure if Latifi has one or not, but I know a lot of these drivers do have one. But we will be coming round towards the end of some of the laps here, for the provisional pole lap at least, and it will be Nova the first person to cross the line here to set a time. What will it be though? That is the question. Would it be in the 24 straight away? Would it be in the 25s? Would it be 27s, 6s, 8s? I'm not too sure. It's going to be round the final corner for a 27.364. Not a bad time for a provisional pole lap. Not a bad time for a banker lap, might I just add as well. Whoa, and we have just seen Andy Moore beat that lap and absolutely destroying that lap by only a couple thousandths. And wow, that is an improvement from Dom Dizzy Mizzy there. As we have a yellow flag, and that is Nova out of the session. I'm unaware of the reasoning behind that, but Nova is out of the session. But Demizzi currently leads the pole position after the first lap of the race. That Haas driver's been pushing it hard all season so far. Dilb is also now up into provisional P3. Believe next across the line it will be Roust or Roudist, but he also has invalidated, so that lap won't count as much. The Jamaican Bacon though on the outlap, running, I know for a fact, a special helmet for today. And that helmet's actually very nice. It looks to be a red and blue swirl helmet. Very nice indeed, with a bit of silver chrome on it. That's a very nice helmet, that. Let's see if we can get a camera angle where it is just the onboard helmet cam of that, because that does look like a very nice helmet there. But anyway, enough of the helmet talk. Jamaican Bacon has a purple provisional sector 1. A little bit loose there on the ends. Potentially saw that Alfa Romeo and got a little bit scared. Of course, I'm going to have to start getting used to calling Alfa Romeo not Alfa Romeo soon. Especially when F124 comes out. Because Alfa Romeo are no longer on the grid. But will this be a purple sector 2? I don't think it will be. It's going to be a back off for the Jamaican Bacon there. Latifi also down towards the back so far. Both Williams drivers not having the best of times at the moment. But that helmet is actually very nice. I do like that helmet a lot on that Williams car. So it seems to be the game audio is not that loud. Let's turn it up a little bit. I believe for that we go into the audio settings. Yeah, that's probably why. I had it down all the way at 6. Not really what you want to see. Let's just double check that the audio is actually working as well. Brum brum, says the car. It's not coming up on my end that the sound is actually working, so just bear with me while I fix that, or attempt to fix it at least. Properties. It should be working. If anyone in Twitch chat could just confirm that the audio is working, that would be very much appreciated. As we have a lot of cars in the pits now, or entering the pits at least. Jamaican Bacon with no battery left after a purple sector 2. Reese inside the barriers by the looks of it on the exit of turn 7, I believe that is. Don't quote me. Audio is good. Thank you, Zonic. Very much appreciated for letting me know. The Jamaican Bacon will cross the line after having a decent amount of time without battery, and still qualifies, or is now set a provisional time of a P3 26.5, and we do have a new leader that will lead qualifying. It will be Latifi in the other Williams car. Very nicely done. I think I maybe made it too loud. Let's turn it down a little bit, because that is very loud. Let's go here. Here is going to be the sweet spot, hopefully. I mean, we'll find out nonetheless. But Latifi will be our provisional leader of this race. Jamaican Bacon, can we potentially see a little bit of a helmet cam here? I don't think we can, sadly. But we have got a nice little side pod on board here. Of course, it's an invalid lap on the in lap, I believe. Tyres 2 laps old, not what you want to see really. But let's go down to the one and only Andy Moore, as Andy Moore, I believe, is set to start a lap here in Silverstone. Mr. Moore in the Red Bull takes that first corner very nicely into the left-hander. Straightens out the steering wheel very nicely. Now DRS is on. The power is down to the maximum. We're looking at the TikTok Verstappen flying in qualifying. Not quite a purple sector 1 though. But will it be a purple sector 2? Of course, we have seen testing recently. The Red Bull in F1 looks very fast for this calendar year. And one person that is looking quite fast here today is Andy Moore. Of course, setting the first lap he set was a provisional P3. But he has invalidated there. Took a little bit too much of the curb. A little bit too much on the exit. Crosses the white lines and that will be an invalidation lap. Needs to turn off that battery and start harvesting before going for another lap. Or maybe pit for newer, fresher tyres. But while that is happening, let's ride on board with Neo Kyo in the Mercedes. Currently sat in P3. And by the looks of it, there looks to be a little bit of teamwork happening between the two Mercedes here. One in P3, one in P6. Looks to be a little bit of a slipstream tow potentially happening. This is what we like to see from these drivers here. Teamwork is very important around this track. Giving each other the tow, giving each other a slipstream is going to be the difference between not only temps, it could also be seconds. The slipstream is powerful around Silverstone. And by the looks of it, the Mercedes duo of Neo Kyo and Elite Shots look to be trying it, but I don't think they are going to be able to, and they're definitely not going to be able to with that crash there from Neo Kyo. Around the final corner, Elite Shots goes. Will it be an improvement? It won't be an it will be an improvement by 7 tenths, but it won't change the position much. Well, that's not what you want to see. But that is what you want to see there. The Mizzy setting, crossing the line for a 125.76. A lot of people have been questioning, should he even be in Tier 2? This driver could get a nice promotion here into a Tier 1 seat. Potentially next season or the season after. I'm unaware of the conditions. But Dilb currently sat in P3. That's not bad so far from Dilb. Of course, no battery looks to be an in-lap, I believe. That will be an in-lap. That is not enough throttle to be pushing or going for a push lap. And it is into the pits there from Dilb in the McLaren. Andy Moore, though, still out on track, trying to get a little bit more out of his car. Currently, not a lot of battery left for some flying laps here. And it will be pulled to the side to let the other McLaren through of, I believe that's Dr. Misk. Not having a great qualifying so far, Dr. Misk. 27.5. Not a bad time at all. Only 3 tenths away from the one and only TikTok Verstappen in P7. But Dr. Misk struggling potentially around the tricky Silverstone conditions. Of course, Silverstone is a track that the game might say it's easy difficulty, but we all know it is hard difficulty track to learn. A lot of places where you can easily drop the rears, spin the car. But this McLaren is pushing. And it will be around the final corner for a 1:27.3. Puts himself only 1/10 behind the one and only Andy Moore. Varuz, if you are able to get in, I believe it should let you do a qualifying lap. And if you can get your setup on and do a lap, you should be able to get it. You want to take control of a car. So like when you're in the spectator menu, I think you got to go to spectator menu, and then like you see where it like gets here, you can like go left and right on the drivers, and then find your seat, and then once you click on it, you can go take control, and then you should be able to take control of a car once in the session. But you've got to be quick, because if you don't get a lap in, which it's going to be very close if you even can get a lap in, but if you can't get a lap, then you won't have a setup on. Everyone seems to be coming in to the pits or on an out lap here for the final push lap of the Grand Prix. This is where things get interesting. This is where things get fun. Who is going to be the fastest out on chat or out on screen? How do you hide chat so you can watch on full screen? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I got to be honest with you. Echoverus, if it doesn't let you, it might let you in the race. I'm unsure. I have to be honest with you. Or if you can take control of any car on grid, just try your best. I believe there might be like a setting down towards the middle. Like the middle, like where you go to like full screen, you might be able to hide chat there. I'm not too sure. But this man right here is smart. Dilb burning fuel in Sector 3 to get himself the lightest car possible. It's going to be interesting to see what time Dilb is going to set as he approaches the penultimate corner. And Dilb is away. Dilb is ready to fly. Behind him, you are going to have the likes of the Jamaican Bacon also ready. Ethan, drop your game tags just so I know. And I can get that done quick. Dilb, the Jamaican Bacon, Latifi, Demizzi, all going to be fighting for this. Demizzi already down on his original time. Elite Shots crosses the line for a 26.1. That's going to be his qualifying over, I believe. The next car to cross the line will be Demizzi, but Demizzi has retired. This is anyone's to grab here. Dilb, how's your bottle, son? Kept it very high gears there. Won't get the best of exits. Won't be a purple sector 2. Dilb is 4 temps up though. So it still could be on for Dilb here to take pole. Will it happen? I'm unsure. Let me quickly send Neokyo an invite back. Dilb around the final corner. Invalidate somewhere in that. The Jamaican Bacon. What can he do? I don't think it's going to be enough. Can he gain enough time here? The Jamaican Bacon around the line. It's only going to be a P3. What can Latifi do then? Latifi has gone off track. So Latifi won't be won't be great. Won't be in a great position. I will send those that need an invite real quickly one more time just in case. Echo Varus, I don't think I have you on my friends list, so I can't invite you sadly. But if you are in, you should be able to get a car, hopefully. Just make sure you take control of a car. Like any car. Just make sure you take control of one. But I don't think we will be able to restart. So you might just have to take 0 points or use default setup and hopefully get some points on the board. But we will have our qualifying orders here in Silverstone. Demizzi will be taking the pole position even after retiring early. He knew that the other drivers out on track couldn't overtake or get past that original time. Elite Shots will be coming in P2. Jamaican Bacon in P3. Latifi in P4. Dilb in P5. Neokyo in P6. Zonic in P7. Andy Moore in P8. Followed by the McLaren of Dr. Mystic in P9. And to round off our P10, it will be Nova. Followed by the Alpine teammate of Shredded Meats there. As I think I just found out what my push to talk button is. Let's have a good race, everyone. Yeah, I believe my push to talk key is S, which is interesting. I never knew that. But here we go then. Demizzi rounds up in our pole position. Second in the front row will be Elite Shots, 4 tenths behind. Jamaican Bacon, 4.5 tenths behind in the second row, leading the second row. Latifi, the Williams teammate, in P4. Dilb on the third row with Neo Kyo. Who's going to be the best of the rest? Who's going to get those overtakes done? Who is going to pass those in front? It's going to be interesting to see as we count down the seconds now till the race is live. By all means as well, if you would like to join us for the future races, we do have sign-ups for reserves available still in the Discord, so make sure you go ahead and join the Discord. F1RL. I will go ahead and post it real quick inside of the Twitch chat, just so everyone can join up if they want to. So that is the invite link to the F1RL Discord if you would like to join and get some nice racing done. New season starting soon. But meanwhile, the drivers are on the grid. Now it will be, the lights are lighting up, and it will be 5 lights and lights out, and away they go here in Silverstone. Demizzi will retain the lead as it looks to be a lot of changing towards the middle. Latifi up a position. There is a yellow flag. That is a Red Bull around. It is going to be Andy Moore span around towards the middle of the pack here. There is also going to be an Alpine off track. That will be Shredded Meats by the looks of it. The Jamaican Bacon now up into P2 though. What can he do from there? He will be trying to make this move on Demizzi very quickly, starting on those soft tyre compounds versus the hards. Hards are an unfavoured tyre, but it seems to be a lot of the drivers starting on them. Do the drivers know something that I don't? Potentially a weather change going into the race. Williams looking down the inside on the McLaren there. That will be Latifi on Dilb. Zonic now under a little bit of pressure from the Alpine teammate of Nova. Shredder Meats has left the session. Whether that is due to lag, I'm not too sure. Jamaican Bacon trying to force a move here on Demizzi down to the straight, down towards Sector 3. Room will have to be left here down on the inside. The Jamaican Bacon goes back. Dilb looks to the inside of Elite Shots, gets the position done. There is a car into the pits. That is going to be a Mercedes of Neo Kyo. everyone moving up the order. A gap starting to form between the front two and the rest of the grid. Zonic still under pressure here from Dr. Mystic now. Starting on the hard tyre compound. Not a favoured compound, but has become a compound that a lot of drivers have used. Kind of just waffling. Anyway, we'll get back to the racing action here. A little bit of a yellow flag in Sector 1. Not too sure what that was about there. Looks to be Echo Verus on the back of the Alpine now of Nova. Of course, in Tier 2, any assist is allowed, so some drivers might have traction off, some might have it on, some might have automatic gears, some might have it off. It is completely random. But here is a move down the inside from the Jamaican Bacon, and the Williams is now leading this race, going in towards Sector 3 on the second lap. The Jamaican Bacon up 4 positions from the start. Dilb trying to close down the gap on Demizzi now. Dilb takes the fastest lap away from the Jamaican Bacon. DRS is now enabled, as there seems to be a little bit more pressure on Zonic once again from the McLaren of Dr. Mystic. But it looks to be Zonic has managed to... Ooh. That is going to be a spin from Dr. Mystic. The pressure is no longer there from... And that is Zonic off track. Not quite sure what happened there as soon as I switched away. That is going to be a yellow flag though in Sector 1. Unsure of what happens, but something did happen. But these front three are so close on track here. There will be an overtake potentially made going into Sector 3. That long straight in front of the crowds. Believe, don't get me wrong here. I'm not too familiar with the corner names, but I believe that is going to be Stowe. And it looks to be Demizzi is through before Stowe. I believe it is. I'm not too sure. I'm not familiar with corner names around Silverstone. But the gap between Dilb and Latifi is now 1.5, 1.7 seconds, increasing nearly 2 seconds now. The gap between P4 and P3. Jamaican Bacon, though, on the back of Demizzi once again. We've seen this before a few laps earlier. The Jamaican Bacon potentially looking for an undercut, starting on the soft tyres compared to everyone around him on the hard tyres. Maybe it could be in Jamaican Bacon's best interest to let Dilb through, maybe attack the likes of Demizzi and save the tyre degradation and potentially make a move later on towards the pit window. But that is going to be the Jamaican Bacon off track. That will have to be a track warning there from Codemasters themselves, from the FIA. But we are seeing all of these cars now quite evenly spaced out. But there is a little battle happening down towards the back here between Shredded Meats and Dr. Mystic. But it looks like Dr. Mystic has got past, and that is a ghost car from Shredded Meats. Let's see if I can get him back into the game. I didn't even see what fully happened there. And it looks to be Shredded Meats is no longer online. Or I don't have him on friends list. I'm not too sure. But the Jamaican Bacon has got past Demizzi once again. But I believe it's just going to be a similar situation to the last time this happened. Look, Demizzi right on the back of that Williams, bump drafting almost, going in towards that last corner in Sector 1. Down the inside, though, the Mizzy looks in the Haas, and he gets the move done. What will the Jamaican Bacon do to react to this, though? I'm not too sure. Who is it that streams tier 2? The one and only Will Manu. The GOAT. The back-to-back-to-back champion. Soon to be the back-to-back-to-back-to-back champion, I believe. Anyway, we have a little freeway battle here towards the front with Dilb losing out a bit of time there. A little bit of a rear, drops the rears a little bit. Down towards that last corner in Sector 2. That has allowed the Jamaican Bacon to relieve a lot of pressure. Only needs to focus now on trying to get past the Mizzy and trying to go for the race win. Latifi, though, caught up to Dilb. Only 4 tenths behind. With DRS enabled going into this next straight, battery could also be deployed. And we could see Latifi potentially overtake Dilb. Gap is closing 3 tenths now. As Latifi looks to the outside. Going to have this inside line into this next right-hander. Takes the inside line and gets past Dilb. Defends lovely on the apex there. Now needs to get close to the Jamaican Bacon to get within any chance of that DRS into potentially saving that position of P4. The Jamaican Bacon, though, is slowly dropping off almost from the back of the Mizzy. Soft tyres versus the hard tyres. The undercut is going to be very strong around Silverstone. That is for sure. Being one of the shortest pits on the calendar. That is going to be a car around. That is going to be Latifi down in P6. Couldn't handle the pressure of Dilb. Potentially contact was made. I'm unaware. Did not manage to catch it. But elite shots now on the back of Reesboy in the Alfa Romeo. The Kick Alfa Romeo. Or the Kick Sauber. Echo Varuz picks up the first 3-second time penalty. Going to be a 3-second there for the Ferrari driver. Elite shots down in P5 still. Not quite gaining enough on to the back of that Alfa Romeo to try and make any moves so far. But the gap out in front is slowly dropping off. That new helmet from the Jamaican Bacon not quite giving him enough to catch up to the back of the Mizzy. That is for sure. Elite Shots takes the second 3-second time penalty of the British Grand Prix. As there is some changes out in front here between Dilb and Reese BO7. Dilb getting overtaken by Reese BO7. The hard tyres on the soft tyres. Looks to be the soft tyres dropping off the pace a little bit. Could it be time to make a move onto the hard tyre compounds instead of staying on the softs? Pit window might be activated here, depending on how badly worn out these tyres are. Or a lot of these drivers could potentially stretch it to a soft to medium. I'm unsure if they will or not, but who knows? Here we go then. Nova within 1 second of the back of Latifi. And that 1 second has closed a lot here. Nova will be on the back of Latifi like a cheetah on the back of a gazelle here, hunting down the back of that Williams, almost getting past Williams. They might recreate a Hamilton Verstappen here. Latifi goes wide off the track to make sure no contact is created. But that has allowed Latifi to almost keep the position. As Jamaican Bacon is into the pits. Is he listening to the stream? I'm unaware. But the Jamaican Bacon is into the pits. It could be for mediums, but mediums would be a stretch. Let's see what the driver decides to do. It will be another set of soft tyres. Going for a two-stop strategy. It's unheard of, especially in a 50% race. However, I'm going to put all my faith into this driver. He has got pace. And with pace comes a long way. He's going to have to hope he manages to catch up to the back of Echo Verus very quickly to get inside that DRS. The less time you're in at DRS, the less time you are gaining. But we have seen that the Jamaican Bacon go for the first pit stop. And it looks like Raul Dist is also going to be making a pit stop. On to some soft tyre compounds, I believe. It will be the softs. And Echo Verus has retired. I'm unsure the reasoning behind it. But Echo Verus has retired and is now dropping the order. As we do see there, the car pulled over to the side of the track, retiring. Unsure the reasoning. Everything is gone, nothing is working, says Echo Verus. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But that has allowed the Jamaican Bacon to make some good moves here and potentially a really good undercut. We have just seen the likes of Nova go into the pits, starting on the medium tyre compounds. Very early pit stop. Or no, maybe have started on the soft tyre compounds and gone on to the mediums. I'm unsure. We will have to check the strategies. Echo Verus said he can't race with automatic gears. Then turn them off. I don't really know what to suggest. I'm pretty sure in this lobby you can check the assist restrictions. There is no assist restrictions, so I believe you are able to race with any settings you want, any assist you want. Bow in front currently, we do have Domizzi. Well, I was going to say, while we had the helmet cam, we could have swapped to the one and only Jamaican Bacon to see that lovely helmet that he has. But don't think we are going to be able to see that helmet cam anytime soon. And it is going to be yet another time where we won't see that helmet cam from the Jamaican Bacon. But Domizzi is still out leading this race under little to no pressure currently. Reesboy in that P2 position, also starting on the hard tyre compounds and slowly catching now. gap going down roughly half a tenth to a tenth per lap, as we will about to see a McLaren get lapped here of Dr. Mystique. Dr. Mystique, I believe this is his first race in F1 RL Tier 2, and it looks to be that Dr. Mystique will be lapped very shortly here. So with Dr. Mystique potentially being lapped very shortly, that will see 2 drivers lapped already, as Dilb is now entering the pits here, or coming out of the pits I should say. Believe Andy Moore might get the jump on him potentially. Oh, it's going to be close. No, Dilb has made it out before Andy Moore, and there is a tactical switch back there from the Williams teammates. That is second driver energy there from Latifi, allowing the Jamaican Bacon to pass, but on different tyre strategies, it makes sense. It'll be interesting to see which of the two come out on top here. Will it be the Jamaican Bacon or will it be Latifi? Be very interesting. Both using different strategies. One going for a 1-stop, one going for a 2-stop strategy. It'll be very interesting to see how this ends up, as the Jamaican Bacon now passes Neo Kyo, ghosted car, down in P13. Reese B07 still sits out of that 1 second DRS gap of the likes of Dom Izzy's car. That DRS wing not quite going up anytime soon yet. Reese B07 needs to get within that 1 second as quick as possible to gain some much needed time. It will be the hard tyres there from Latifi. Didn't want to stretch it out for another 5 laps on the mediums to then run a soft stint. Would rather go in for the hard tyres. Won't be the fastest strategy. Not the most optimal strategy, but it is a strategy nonetheless. Medium to hards in the 50% race. Not bad at all. But drivers that do need to pit are the likes of Demizzi and Reese, both entering the pits now. This will be interesting. Has Jamaican Bacon got it right? The double stopper, the 2-stop strategy. I'm not sure if it was the right call, but he is continuing with pace. That is for sure. Needs to clear enough time on the likes of the 2 front runners for a pit stop. Needs to clear 24 seconds minimum, I believe, on the 2 behinds, on these slightly older soft tyres, compared to Demizzi's new mediums and Reese also on the new mediums. But neither of the drivers wanting to stretch it out for a soft stint at the end. Very interesting. Of course, out on track, it is a little bit quiet right now. A lot of these cars evenly stretched out. 2 seconds, 1 second. But one thing that is happening, or someone is praying for, is a safety car here. And that person that's praying is the one and only Jamaican Bacon. Elite Shot is now into the pits. That will be the Mercedes in, as well as the Jamaican Bacon in for another pit stop. It has to be the medium tyres for the Jamaican Bacon. And it will be 10 laps on them. How much time lost will it be? Doesn't look awful. I have to be honest, it would have been slower than going directly onto the hard tyres till the end. But then again, there's no calling strategy when it comes down to tyre life and tyre expectancy. But that has put the Jamaican Bacon roughly 18 seconds away from the race win or the race lead. 18 seconds in 12 laps, just over a second a lap needing to be caught up for that race win. It's unheard of, but it's always possible. When you believe in something, it is possible. But the Mizzy is flying. Purple Sector 2, Purple Sector 1, Purple Sector 3, Purple Sector 2. This man is on fire. Loving the colour purple. Driving like a pure professional. 28.271. That'll be the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. The pure pace in this Haas car right now is incredible. No need to use battery. He's got the pace. He's got the passion. Let's get some times then. So most of the grid currently sat in the 130s on average. Of course, Reese, Dilb and the Jamaican Bacon as well as Latifi all dipping into those 129s. But there is only one driver out on track that has the ability to do that 128.2. And that is the Mizzy currently. The Mizzy sat in P1, of course, qualifying P1, leading the race, and now is in P1 yet again. The Jamaican Bacon 22 seconds away from that race leader. A whole pit stop behind. The two-stop strategy hasn't proved its worth. But let's go back towards the intervals here, as we do see the Mizzy making an overtake on Row Dist. And we will potentially see a move here very shortly from the likes of Elite Shots on Dilb in the McLaren. This is going to be a battle for the podium, or that last spot on the podium. Elite Shots gets that purple sector 1, catching up to that McLaren very nicely. Has got so much traction around the outside there compared to the McLaren on the inside on those hard tyre compounds. And that looks to be the Mercedes through, is going to be the Mercedes through. Dilb runs wide off the track once again. Of course, a lot of these drivers have penalties. But it's all about the position on track. That is the real flex. Of course, we have Andy Moore. I haven't really mentioned him much here today. But Andy Moore hasn't really been in much of a race today. He's kind of been in a race of his own. Every time he seems to have caught up to people, they seem to have, once he's got past them, they've drifted away. Of course, being currently sat in P9 35 seconds ahead of P10. 1.5 seconds behind P8. And P8 is, of course, 16 seconds behind P7. Andy Moore's in his own battle here for P9 or P8 for a P8 finish. Unless, of course, that safety car comes. A lot of these drivers out on track hoping for a safety car. I know for a fact that Jamaican Bacon will be hoping for a safety car. And I believe a lot of the grid as well might even be hoping for a little bit of rain here. The clouds are over Silverstone currently. They are looking a little bit dark. Could the rain be inbound any time now? Is there even rain scheduled? I'm unaware to these facts. But there is a nice little battle here between Elite Shots and Dilb, as Dilb has the DRS on Elite Shots. Looks to the inside, looks to the outside even. Goes around the outside. Does he have the grip off the track slightly? Not quite enough. Latifi leaves the session. Let me see if I can get Latifi an invitation back real quick. There is a couple invitations back to the race. Of course, Latifi only being 2 seconds behind Nova. Not what you want to see, especially if you are Latifi. Not a great position to lose your car. And that car is going to drop down the order. And it's gone into the pits. It's followed Nova into the pits on, I believe, new hard tyres. Latifi AI having a bit of a mare. But that is going to allow Andy Moore to not only overtake Zonic, which he has done, but potentially overtake Nova and Latifi for a P6. He is going to be ahead coming out of the pits. But now, can he stay ahead? That is the real question. Andy Moore now up into P6. No matter how he does it, he always gets somewhere. Whether it's top 5, whether it's a podium, consistent points. To my knowledge, Andy Moore hasn't actually been outside of the points when he's finished a race. I could be wrong saying that, but to my knowledge, I believe that is how it's been. But Reese on the back of the Mizzy now. This is getting closer and closer. The longer it takes, the shorter it will be. 6 laps of pure racing. Who will come out on top? This is something we will have to find out shortly. As I am being rang on Discord by someone, and I'm unsure why. Anyway, back to the racing. 6 tenths is the gap between Reese and Demizzi. DRS will be enabled, of course, for Reese as long as he stays within that 1 second gap. Other battles out on track that are heating up is, of course, Dilb on, I believe, the back of Elite Shots. It is Dilb on the back of Elite Shots. Another battle that could potentially be heating up as well is Zonic on Andy Moore. But Demizzi is being put on serious pressure by Reese here. The Alfa Romeo looking dangerous. Very dangerous. Of course, a lot of these drivers having penalties. Penalties will not be great. Let's actually check out the penalties real quick. Let's get the telemetries on and let's get penalties up. Zonic has picked up 12 seconds worth of time penalties. Reese has picked up 6. So Reese is probably out of contention of winning this race, even if he does end up coming in P1. Andy Moore, though, penalty free. Yet again from Mr. Moore, penalty free. He seems to always never pick up a time penalty. The rest of the grids, I can't say otherwise for. A lot of position changes might happen under penalties here. So it's never a dull moment in F1 RL, that is for sure. But Reese now has to catch up 9 seconds on top of getting past the Mizzy. I don't think it's going to happen. I have to be honest, as that Williams is ghosting inside of Reese there. I believe that could potentially be Latifi. And if it is Latifi is dropping the order massively there. But Reese is getting past the Mizzy here, I believe. Camera angle, please change. We need a better one. We don't want to see the hill. But the Mizzy has span. The Mizzy has spanned. Latifi has gone straight on the corner. Brake failure by looks of it. This has opened the race up completely. Can the Mizzy get back in that 1 second gap of Reese? Can Reese obtain and keep the 10-second gap needed to win this Grand Prix? This has made this race completely dramatic. That spin there from the Mizzy, I don't think was planned, to say the least. And it's made this race heat up massively. If this is Tier 2, Tier 1 tomorrow is going to be an absolute snorefest. I'm only joking. Tier 1 is where the racing action is at. Tier 1 is the best division to be in. Multiple different winners each round. I don't think that has been a repeat winner yet since round 3. But Silverstone Tier 1 tomorrow. Tune in, 7 PM GMT. Dilb making the move on elite shots there. Down the inside, or down the outside even. Down towards turn 6, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it was 6. I'm amazing at track numbers. Don't test me on my corner knowledge. I know the number. That's it. But Elite Shots will want to retain that podium position. So I won't be surprised if Elite Shots starts pushing his Mercedes around Silverstone as if it's a rocket ship. Both drivers, though, out of battery or close to it. One of them needs to start saving battery here. And one of them will end up winning this race off of, or not winning the race, but winning this battle based off battery. Whether it's Dilb or Elite Shots, one of them will need to start saving battery here. Very even amounts here between them both. But Dr. Mystique potentially helping out the McLaren teammate here, allowing the DRS. So now both cars, I believe, will have DRS. No. The ghosted car hasn't gave Dilb the DRS. Not sure when they changed that, but I thought that used to happen. Unless Dilb just didn't deploy the DRS. I'm unsure. But this is the closest battle out on track currently. Between Dilb and Elite Shots. Who will take that final podium position, as it looks like Reese, after that tragic spin from Demizzi, is managing to hold this 9-second gap, and has in fact increased it from that 10 seconds originally to now 12.3 seconds. Who's going to be the last on the podium? Too late for a safety car now, entering lap 25. So we won't see a late safety car here in Silverstone. So I think the Jamaican Bacon is going to have to take this P5. Started P5, is going to end P5. Not really what you want to see from a driver with such talent and natural skill. But it's one to forget for the Jamaican Bacon. That is for sure. But we will see Reese now entering Sector 3. About to be in Sector 3, should I say. Little to no battery left. No pit stops remaining, as I am now being invited to a race by someone that was calling me on Discord earlier. Unsure why, or unsure of the reasoning, but who knows. Reese, anyway, round the penultimate corner, around the final corner for the final lap of this race. Dilb and Elite Shots switching positions, and there's contact. Major contact made. This is the Jamaican Bacon's chance. Just needs to catch up with Dilb, who's not too far away. Battery needs to be deployed. 2.4 seconds is the gap. Dilb has a 3-second time penalty. The Jamaican Bacon has, I believe, managed to just sweep this podium after me saying it's not been a good race for him. He might end up on the podium here. What can the Jamaican Bacon do? Battery deployed, fuel flashing red. The car might not have the maximum top speed due to the fuel being in that red flashing mode, but it looks to be just enough to keep on track and just enough to potentially gain on the likes of Dilb here. And Demizzi picks up a 3-second time penalty, which means the only driver left out on track to not pick up a time penalty is going to be the one and only TikTok Verstappen Andy Moore in a race of his own. But I've completely forgot to mention Reese in the Alfa Romeo crosses the line to take P1, to take the race win. Demizzi will cross the line in P2. Dilb will cross the line in P3. But the Jamaican Bacon has managed to get on the podium. Elite Shots will take P5. Andy Moore, only penaltyless driver, will take P6. By the looks of it, not quite close enough to gain from those penalties. But what a race it's been. Reese, domination. Demizzi, domination. But a silly mistake drops the Riz, allows Reese to win. But even so, it's a hard-fought victory from Reese there in the Kick Alfa Romeo. What a race Tier 2 has been. What a race. That's got to be up there, one of my favourite races for the Tier 2 calendar. That is for sure. What a race, as we will now get to see our podium. And that will be our round up finish. Here is our final standing order. Reese in P1, Demizzi finishing in P2, the Jamaican Bacon finishing in P3, Dilb in P4, Elite Shots in P5, Andy Moore finishing in P6, Zonic in P7, Nova in P8, Dr. Mystique in P9, Rodist in P13 or P10, starting P13, nice improvement there. Neokyo down in P11, of course, 3 laps behind, will be disqualified for being AI. Shredder Meets in P12, Latifi in P13, Echo Varuz in P14. Those will be our 3 DNFs as well, Shredder Meets, Latifi and Echo Varuz, but what a race it has been from those out in front. Tune in tomorrow for Tier 1. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.